For my underdogs, the ones willing to pay the cost. Even when we're up, we gotta take a loss. Underdogs are always against the odds. I'ma use this opportunity to do it for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. Yeah, my underdogs.
Welcome back to another episode of the Rec Center Podcast. I'm Kenny Edwards, joined here with my co-host Lorenzo Parham. Man, we missed you last week, dog. Hey, it's hella different without you. They're like the energy be different, dude. Like we need you. So what's been going on?
Hey, man, had to tie up a few things on the home front, man, schedule-wise, school-wise, kids-wise. So, man, I'm mad I missed that great episode with Chuck Hayes, man, because there was a lot of things I personally wanted to ask him myself, man, but still was a great interview. Thank the viewers for tuning into that episode with Chuck Hayes. Got a special interview today. We're going a little different than what our normal format is because we're excited about OEL football. And we're going to do an OEL preview, man. So we brought Coach Ed on from Castlemont High School, who's one of the most dedicated coaches I feel that's in the OEL. We have Josh Jones, who I personally got to watch the end of his youth football career, man. And the kid is amazing. And then we go talk to Franklin Daniels as well, who's going to talk to us about how his high school career been recruiting and what it's like being a senior and playing through COVID football right now, man. So, Ed, welcome to the podcast, Ed.
What's happening, Lo? What's happening, Ken? What's up? What's up, y'all?
It's about time, man. We had you on for the other shenanigans, but it didn't quite pan out. We had too many technical difficulties, man. So it's good to have you back on. Try this again.
Hey, but you know what, Ed? I'm glad that conversation we had that didn't get posted came to fruition, and we're going to talk about the game you got scheduled in the fall.
Yeah.
The 98th Street Bowl. We're going to talk about the 98th Bowl.
The DB Stokeland Bowl.
The DB Stokeland Bowl. We're going to talk about that. Ed, hey, Ed, so what is it like, man, being back at the helm at Castlemont after being gone for, what were you going for, 2 or 3 years?
2 years.
2 years. What is it like being back at home, being back in an environment, a place that you actually played football at yourself?
Man, it's a great feeling, you know what I'm saying, because I'm able to affect young people's lives who I feel like really need it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited, man. And like Lo, you had said some stuff a few weeks ago that was hella powerful, and I've been saying this, but it's like when I talk to people, they don't want to really hear that everybody's not going to go to college. So what about the people that don't go to college? What are they doing? And so I've always been a person to pride myself on people getting jobs and going into different career paths and stuff like that. So that's why I'm back, man. Yes, I'm back to win games and stuff as well and bring some pride back to the school. But the most important thing is to help them figure out what their next step is in life. Because, you know, when you get 19, moms start asking for that rent money, you know what I'm saying? So I need to, you know, it's on us to help them figure out their purpose like Coach Denny did for me.
Hey, how hard was it coming back and not being able to come right back into Castlemont, like coaching at Encinal last year for you? How difficult was that for coach at Encinal? And Encinal, you guys winning, but over here at Castlemont, where your heart was not doing so well at the time. How hard was that for you?
Man, it fucked me up. All right, I'm gonna be all the way honest with y'all. Because I seen what they had and what the potential could have been. But it was like it take a lot. You can't just come in there and coach football. And I think that's widespread for Oakland in general. You can't just come and be a football coach. That's almost impossible. So I think the energy that it took to really dedicate yourself to changing or keeping keeping that afloat. I don't know if it was in place these past 2 years. Not saying that because I think they were good coaches. It's just the energy that it took to be at the study hall, to be on campus all the time, every day, make sure people doing what they're supposed to do, and to really have cultural change. That's what was gone when I left. And so I was like, damn, and at Encinal, I had kids. It was easy. I just taught them technique, and shit, we led the state in interceptions last year because they had played football before, versus where I got at Castlemont, I got people who didn't know what a back pedal was, how do you backpedal? What do you? So we had to teach things from a foundational level, but it was great. We was very successful. It just showed me that I could be successful wherever I go. But my main thing was to help groom these kids and make sure they figure out their purpose. So it ate me up, but being back now, I'm hella happy. It ain't paying like Instanel did, but you know, I am hella happy to be back at Castlemont and Oakland in general.
Let me ask Josh this question. Josh, I caught the tail end of your youth football career. When did your youth football career start? At what age did you start playing? Did you play any other sport? What was it like when you were a kid and being an athletic guy?
Growing up as a kid, I was doing a lot of messed up stuff. I mean, and that entails with, you know, just being in Oakland in general. You know, there's a lot of bad things that can steer you wrong. And at the time, going to school in Berkeley, and I lived in Vallejo, so I was making that commute every day. And then, you know, in those after hours, I'd be in Oakland just doing whatever I could be doing. Then one day, my mom woke me. She was my father was like, "You want to go play for Marshawn Lynch?" And I was like, "Sure." And in that time, I was playing flag football, just, you know, being whatever I was at that, just bigger than all the other kids. So I was like, this is like the next step for me. And I woke up, I went out with some dirty Nike shorts and a white t-shirt that had my last name on the back, this messed up park, and I was just out there having fun. As it entailed, like a lot of people won't tell you, my first touchdown, I ran for like 60 yards, fumbled at the 10, picked it back up and scored. And I was just out there having fun. Towards the end, there was a lot of speculation. I've never ran into any like recruiting, not saying like recruiting, but, you know, like more people wanting you, especially like as a young kid in Oakland. There's not really that desire for like someone else to say, yeah, we want you to come play, or we want you to come do this and that. So like having that option to go to any school, my first option, I believe I was going to go to Parental. I really relied on my coach at that time, who was Coach Tino, and he was going to Skyline, and he kept me on Skyline and wanted me to go to Skyline. But I went and talked to Coach JB at Castlemont my freshman year, and he seemed to have it all set up. He seemed to like have it really set on me, and he had a plan for me. So I ended up going there. And it's funny because as a kid, I used to walk around Oakland and go past Castlemont, look at that school, and like, I'm never going there. Why would I go there? But as the years have gone on, I understand. Like,
I feel that way too, Josh. You got, hey, Josh, Castlemont is one of the schools. It's one of them. It's like the girl you see, you say like, I'm never going to mess with her until you start messing with her and be like, oh, I love it here, right? That's Castlemont is like that. But before we go into high school, let me back up for a second, Josh. Your first year ever playing football was when you was 13 playing with the Seminoles?
Yeah.
Wow.
I played like flag football, but that wasn't really like me knowing what I was doing. It was like, do this, do that. It was just a little recreational thing.
Wow. How did you know you can be as good as you was? Because that first year you played at the Seminoles, you guys wasn't really that good, and but you kind of single-handedly put the team on your back and helped beat the Oakland Junior Raiders that year. And then the next year, it's like you took off, right? How did you know you were that good?
I think a lot of the part was I didn't have the out of the box look inside. You know, like, you know, there was players over here that were doing there, those players over there doing that. I walked into it as me being me, and I didn't care about anybody else who was in front of me. And at that point on, you know, I just really stuck to it and learned the game. Just went from there, you know, like I just thought the person in front of me just wasn't that good enough. Like, I respect him as an opponent, but I still walk with that kind of, you know, same mentality today. It's just like, you know, I respect you that you're able to step across me, but you're not going to step through me.
Damn, you could win with that.
Man, anywhere you go with that attitude, you can win anywhere you go. Hey, my brother Franklin, what did you do? When did you start getting into football, man? Did you play youth football growing up? Or are you from Oakland? What's going on?
Nah, my first year playing football was 2020. Yeah, that was my first year playing football. Yeah.
This year?
So
last
the whole story
year?
This year. I mean, last year, my bad. Last year, 2020. So the whole story was that I was born in Nigeria. So I moved here when I was in 2019 to complete my high school, planning to go to college. So when I got here, I didn't really know nothing. I was just coming here like just complete my education, go to college. And the first person I actually met in Castlemont was Coach Ed. And when he saw me, he was like, "You play football?" I'm like, "I don't know what football is. I never tried it before. I don't know what that is." So that was my junior year. So that actual year, I didn't play football. They took me out to the practice. Like the first day I got to school, they took me out to the practice, and I'm seeing things like I've never seen. I don't even know what a football look like, and I'm like,
Wow.
nah, it's not for me, man. And they were because I got here like I got on my junior year was like in the middle of the season, so they were trying to make me play like in that season. I'm like, how am I gonna play when I don't even know what I'm doing? Like so that year, I'm like, nah, I can't do this. So
So no
every
football in
year,
Nigeria. There's no football. Like, you don't know
nah,
anything? There's no
it's American football. So what we play is soccer
soccer.
with Nigeria.
Damn.
So
Wow.
yeah, time
How
after
big,
time.
Franklin? How big is that jump though? Like to never play anything I'm on varsity now. Like how big is that learning process for you to grasp?
It took a lot. It took a lot of questions. It took a lot of like training. Just keep watching, and just also some practice on my own because the little 2 hours of practice we got is not it's not gonna cut it for me. So if people know me, I always practice on my own when I'm in my house or practice in my stands. A lot of that. So a lot of that helped me a lot to know as much as I do right now.
So you enjoyed it as soon as you start playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I started playing, you started with conditioning.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
No, nobody likes that part.
You can,
Nobody
the way
likes
you
you
that
keep
run
part.
it,
that.
you feel like, yeah, is football really for me? Like,
But the
You can keep
physicality,
that,
you were
right?
okay with that?
yeah, the physicality, I was just, I didn't really play. I was just big, like 300 pounds, 6'3". I never really played sports. So the physicality was already there.
Yeah,
You just had to do like the mental ability, like to just sustain the whole
that's dope.
running, the whole process, everything. So so when I talked to my mom, she said sometimes you just gotta try something. You just have to try it and see if you like it. So I just came my mind to it, tried it, and I started to like football, man. The coaches around me, they were helping me a lot. They know I asked a lot of questions. My coaches know that I ask silly questions that people, because I don't know what I'm doing. So I just keep asking questions, keep training, just keep doing like trying to do like some extra work so I could get better.
Let,
So
let, let me ask,
that's it.
let me ask you something, Ed, real quick. What is the goal with this 3-4 game season that you got? Is it the goal to like try to get some seniors some looks and get your young team ready for the fall, or is it like are you going in saying I need to win these games? What is the goal to play in this quick little spring season and then get ready for fall season?
All right. So my goal is number one to win. I want to win. That's everybody's goal to win. You know, as a competitor, that's my thing. But it's to build, to keep building, like building resumes, man, and giving these kids opportunity. Franklin is actually the only senior. Well, we got one more now. We got 2 seniors on the team of 28 kids. So that whole team is coming back. But fundamentally, we need to keep teaching and teaching the way that we do things and stuff like that. Like everybody's on the team running track, like every single person, the lineman, everybody. And they were doing it. Josh was running track before COVID hit. So now when now that we in this little small season, get them some action, get them some looks, because we have a lot of first year players. You know what I'm saying? So get them some looks, get them some action, and then come back next year, with a little bit more experience. But again, we going in to win, man. We not coming in kissing no ass at all. You know what I'm saying? Whether we win or lose, our goal is to always win. So that's my number one thing. But to make sure we get them better and make sure they come closer. We usually take the kids camping. Couldn't do that. So it's just a lot of stuff we do that I seen Coach Denny do for us that made us a tight-knit family and give us pride for our school and care about one another. that I'm gonna do. So right now I can't do that, but we preparing for the next stage. But we've definitely plan on being in that Silver Bowl. That's the goal.
Hey, Josh. So our Josh and Franklin. Franklin, you're from Nigeria, so you probably will. This is right might be a little foreign to you, right? We talk a lot about the OAL and what it was like when I played, when Ken played, and when Ed played in the OAL. Josh, coming into the OAL as a freshman, coming from the Seminoles, coming to OAL as a freshman, and playing varsity your whole career as a freshman, right? And what was your thing about the OEL? Like, was it competitive? Is it like hyped up the way we seen the OEL? Like, what was it like when you first came and played in the OEL as a freshman on varsity?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, like leaving those years from the Seminoles and like getting into high school, I was constantly watching football, like all different kinds of running back football and stuff like that. They had like under the radar, always watching those. The ones that I did watch in California were like St. John Bosco, Modern Day, all the schools, all the big names, Alabama, stuff like that. So I wasn't really like too associated with the OAL in consideration. Like, I didn't really go to any games, So getting into it, I think my freshman year, we played Tech, and I was at the bottom of the pile, and I kicked twice. And I was like, okay. You'll get different people who give you different examples, but I think you can sum it down to me. You're not going to be able to survive if you're not going to have your nose down, and you're not going to want to like get into somebody the way they're going to try to get into you. So if you have like any doubt, if you have any kind of like fruition to go a little, eat up a little bit, you're gonna get chewed up and spit out. So I learned that at the early, like my early 2 games. I just went from there.
No, it's a different type of tough. There's like football toughness where you play outside the OAL, and you just gotta be football tough. But I feel like playing in the OAL, you gotta be like tough, like street tough. And football tough, because like you said, getting kicked under the pile, which happens everywhere, really. But I don't know. I feel like it's another level of oomph. Did you play against a lot of your? Did you play against a lot of your Seminole teammates? Your first?
Yeah. So Skyline, I think I played against the most of my Seminole teammates, but I still I even have like some of the dudes I went to middle school with who played at Tech. Now he plays Skyline. So like it's all over the place. It's good to see everybody, but like once you're in between those 24 minutes, it really matters. So
absolutely. Hey, but I saw this thing on both of you guys, this US Bank athlete thing, and you guys, one of the guys, I want to applaud you guys on y'all grades, man. Like, Josh, what did it say? You're a 4.0, 3.8 student?
Yeah, so I finished my last 2 years with the 4.0. Last semester, I believe I finished with like a 3.8, and I'm at a 3.7 right now.
Congratulations, brother.
Good job. What about you, Franklin?
My last year I finished with 3.75 GPA.
Absolutely.
Okay, Ed, I see you.
One of the things, man, that you guys, might be, or you might be aware of, is the stigma that people associate with Castlemont, right? People are figuring that basically writing you guys off not just as an athletic program, but as young Black men who can't get their grades together. So I want to give you guys y'all props, give Coach Ed his props on the way that you guys are able to keep y'all grades together and stuff like that, despite all the things that go around, man. So big ups to you guys, man. Hopefully they give y'all awards at the African American Male Achievement Award ceremony for you guys' grades. See, Ed, they do got that, Ed. See, Ed be trying to make it seem like we don't acknowledge these type of things, right? So I want to give you guys your acknowledgement for that. So Josh, having the grades you had and the success you had so far, what is it like with recruiting for you from schools and coaches and talking to you?
I think a lot of the coaches are surprised, especially like where I come from, school I'm at. They you get accolades, and you're like, hey, let me see. So I think that's where I'm at right now. They just want to see something, like you want to put a face to the name, and like what happens, I think they'll start. I'm talking to a lot of schools. Me and Coach Ed, we like adamant about it. everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, where you want to go. You know, if this is what you want, he's trying to get it to you. So, you know, I make a list, he sends it out, and he's on them every week, you know, like, hey, what do you feel? How you seeing it? You know, you got the grades, what are you worried about? What can be changed? So as long as he's giving me that feedback, I'm adjusting every week. You know, if they want to see more grades, pass this test. If they want to see some more film, I'm gonna go a little extra harder on the weight. So I'm just trying to fill the holes so they don't have no excuse.
Who's on the list? What schools are on the list?
Right now, I think I would list it for top 5. It would probably go Fresno State, San Jose State. We're working on Oregon State. I've had conversations with Weber State, and I want to say who's the last one? We've been working on Princeton since March, and yeah, that's 5.
Anytime you mention Fresno State and San Jose State in the same sentence, make sure you say San Jose State first. Then Fresno State.
I heard a lot of states. I didn't hear Jackson State. Ed, any HBCUs you could hook up with? I didn't hear Jackson State.
No, man, so I didn't send it to them. My funny ass story. My defensive coordinator is his brother is the DC at Jackson State, and so he was talking to me. They on this big hype, the stars type hype right now. That's what Jackson State is on, stars. But Alabama State did reach back out to me about him and our linebacker Jalen. Because it's hard right now for this year in terms of like for Franklin, it's hard with schools because a lot of kids are opting out of their senior year, which means it's less scholarships. You get what I'm saying? But Franklin, like, I mean, for Josh, he'll definitely get recruited because he has been because his grades is on point and he got another year. And that's the key component. Everybody is like, well, is he class of 21? Because if he is, but if he class of 22, we could take a look at him because we're gonna have this many available, you know, offers and stuff. And like I tell them, let everybody know you want to come and get them papers in front of your face, so you then make the decision. You know what I'm saying, on where you want to go. But I'm telling y'all, Franklin Daniels, I want y'all to hear me. This dude that we have on this phone, he's a motherfucking dog. I promise you, listen. He be running on 83rd and Darwin.
Hey, listen to me. Huh? Ed. We don't give the scholarships out.
no, I'm talking about on the OAL hype.
You put the emphasis on the curse word, and we like, yo, we ain't giving the scholarships out.
Right? I ain't got no offers. No, but man, I sell my guys, Lo. I
absolutely.
Really do,
and I wish more coaches sold their guys, right? I wish more coaches had the thing to sell all their guys. I feel a lot of coaches pick a pocket full of players to try to sell them players and not selling all of their guys. And if they get that pocket full of players out, it'll make their program look better. But one of the things me and Ed once talked about, Ed said, Lo, what do you think programs sell their kids on? And I said, hey, I'm gonna give you my coach's standpoint, then my point as a parent. I said, as a parent, I don't want to hear nothing about how many people you got a scholarship for, because I'm gonna look at the opposite side, how many people you didn't get a scholarship for. So don't sell me on you getting scholarship. What kind of man can you create my son or daughter to be, or women that you can create my son or daughter to be when they leave your program? I more just want to know what kind of what their character is going to look like when they leave your program. Because at the end of the day, I can give my own kids into college the right way. So therefore, I don't want to hear nothing about who you got in college, because who you didn't get in college will have more effect on me. Because if you have 22 seniors and you only got 5 scholarship people, where did them other 17 kids go and do with their lives, right? So I'm really big on that as a parent, right? What's the character like, man? Did he develop his character, right? Are you holding him accountable, right? So one of the things that throw me off is I'm holding my kid accountable, or Josh's mom holding Josh accountable, but then he be the star athlete and none of the coaches holding him accountable. Somewhere down the line, that kids fall through the cracks because no one was holding them accountable all the time, right? So that's one of the things about me. So I'm glad you're selling all your players. That's a good one. Did you have coming in and starting playing football? Basically, you got to fall in love with it. Do you have a dream of wanting to play football after high school?
Yes, I do. That's what I'm working towards right now. I really do have a dream of playing football after high school.
Man, I wish you the best with that, man. I'm really sure Ed can make it happen. So here's the thing, Franklin. One of the things a lot of people get so hyped up on is, damn, I got to go the JUCO route, right? Take it from me and Ken. I went the JUCO right. Ken went the JUCO route. Ed went the JUCO route. I went to Arizona State. Ken went to San Jose State. We met at Lincoln University, and Ed went and got his degree as well, all from coming from the JUCO route. So don't it's not it because especially with you being a senior, it's not the end all be all for football because you still got could go play after this, man. So that's a great one, Josh. Let me ask you about Josh. What was it like? And this is what was it like being voted second in the MVP race in Oakland last year as a sophomore?
Um, I honestly didn't know till after the season, of course, but I always rate myself to my bar. You know, like the guy who is above me, he's not the bar. He's not the dude I'm trying to beat. He's not the, he's not the next, Marshawn Lynch or nothing like that. Not saying he's bad or nothing like that, but I have strife to go beyond that. I'm not trying to be the first in the league. I'm trying to be the first in the state. Once I'm first in the state, I'm going to be first in my region. I'm going to be the first in the West. I'm going to be first in this country. So like from that, I set my own bar. I didn't feel like I did that great that year. And I have a lot to improve on. And wherever I land this year, it's still not going to be good enough because, like I said, the bar isn't the person who's above me. It's the person 10 feet above me. So, like, I'm just trying to, just keep pushing and get further beyond that so that I can, keep excelling and not get complacent.
Josh, this is a true question. I'm pretty sure it's an honest question. I'm pretty sure I would know the answer to that, right? Do you feel, or is it ever a time where people be like, "Oh, Josh, you at Castlemont," and then other coaches try to recruit you out of Castlemont and say you shouldn't be there? I can do this for you. I can do that for you. Do you run into that a lot with different coaches around?
I do.
And you don't have to call no names out. I'm not saying put anyone on blast. I'm just thinking about how things can happen with this big recruiting thing and people try. Like I thought I heard with during COVID, kids was able to transfer and still be eligible. And that's why I wondered if people try to recruit you away from Castlemont.
Yeah, I mean, it's a common thing. A lot of people say they don't do it. They do it. It's a dog eat dog world. You're not going. You play inside the lines, you get crushed by them. Is my saying. So of course, people are gonna say this about Castlemont. People are gonna say that about Castlemont. But in the end, all why I didn't transfer is because what could I say about myself if I went and won somewhere else, or I have to come back to the school and win that way? Like it's on some KD stuff. Like who am I as a person rather than who am I as a player? And I have to have when I came into Castlemont, I told myself I have to have pride about the school rather than look on the outside and look at all the because if you look on the outside, you're not gonna be too pleased. But if you're in the inside and you go into school every day and you see these teachers who are really striving, you see Coach Ed up here every day with socks and slides on because he woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning just to get here, just to make sure that everybody's in class, make sure that he's holding everybody accountable. So like that's what I really needed. I didn't really need all the glitter and glamour, and I didn't come from that. So I didn't go out and look for that. When it was Skyline, it was this was supposed to be like a college school. We have people doing this and that. So like when I was coming out of the Seminoles going into these schools, I was like, yeah, I could go here as an academic standpoint, but this isn't what I really need as a player. This isn't what I really need as a person.
Absolutely, man. Hey, Ed.
Ed is a salesman.
Hey, Ed. No. Because I think, and Ed, you probably run against this in a different way that Josh run against it, right? Because not only are you got to deal with coaches to recruit away from you, you got to also try to get parents to come into Castlemont as well. I met with you guys. I met with a nice dude that you got running the OK program. Shout out to that officer that's running the OK program. But Ed, give me some more things that you tell parents when you try to, I don't want to say recruiting because I don't know if that's a thing in the
attract.
I want to attract. I want to say more so as getting them not to leave out of their district to go elsewhere? What are you telling parents with that?
The thing is, Lo, okay, looking from everybody who has something to say about Castlemont, and it's all good, they're from the outside in. They've never once been on campus. They've never once talked to not one teacher on the campus. They don't know who the principal is. They just don't know. So I don't get mad when people say, oh God, or oh, I looked on the computer and the test scores. I can't look. Your son is your son. Your son, not my son. And your son may be way better than my son in mathematics. You know what I'm saying? And myself, it's personable. So when I get them people to come into the school and they see that we have 22 Black teachers, they see that we were the only school in East Oakland with Black leadership. They whole mindset change. They see that our support staff, we have brown and Black support staff that's actually from the community. And they come into the school and they see how close knit we are as a school and how we work with our students. I'm telling you, I got it before, I didn't even notice about Castlemont. Dang, I didn't even, so it's just that them not knowing, man, that's all it is. And so it's not me selling them, it's just telling them about what we do and how I'm dedicated to their child's development as a person. I don't give a fuck about what's going on the football field. That's going to handle itself. We talking about them as a person. And that's real. I only got 3 players that ever got a full scholarship in football. I have 10 players that have graduated from college. I have 19 that are working that make over $25 an hour. That's a win for me. You know what I'm saying? That's a win. You can go check him out. Now, the thing is, man, is people don't know how to develop. They expect getting stuff already seasoned, fast food. They like fast food. Nobody like to cook no more. Because if they would have got Franklin, they would have seen that, oh, damn, he can't play. Oh, I don't really want him. They would have just said, fuck it. Other schools would have been like, fuck it. At Castlemont, you have to develop. You have to have patience. You have to teach. You know what I'm saying? So we stuck patient. We was patient with him. We developed him and we taught him, and he's becoming a better person. And we're helping him outside of football. You know what I'm saying? So he trusts us now. It's all about them trusting you. When I trust you, now I'll run through a wall for you. Now I do great things. So that's all it's about, man. Just telling them what's going on and getting in front of them. This time I made sure that I had help, because last time I was doing everything by myself. You know what I'm saying? And so that wasn't cool. So I got my other brother program with Dr. Ishman Anderson. He's our academic enrichment thing. He helped, he handled the academic piece. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, before you go on about Ishman Anderson, shout out to Ishman Anderson. He saw me at your practice day the other day, and he was looking at me, and I'm in Oakland. What you looking at me like this for, right? I don't know what's going on, right? And the first thing he says, hey, bro, you the one that run that talk show, right? I'm like, man, I don't run a damn talk show. That's Ricky Lake. I run a podcast. It's called the Rec Center, right? Hey, but shout out to Ishman. I met him at your practice today, man. Good brother, man, with the My Other Brother program, the Mob. So shout out to him. He's definitely helpful and instrumental in what you're doing over there at Castlemont. And then you got the OK program that's also doing well. What's that officer now? I saw you got an award for that too, Ed.
Yeah, Officer Smitty with the OK program, man. That's because this was all about mentoring. So we got that mentoring Black boys. I'm working on getting my Latino men and boys back, because we got a lot of Latino brothers. And so, just making sure outside of the football field they develop, man. Fuck, everybody can play. People can play. That's fine. But we're talking about developing them outside of the football field. And a lot of parents don't want to hear that. Like, I hate to say it, Lo, a lot of outside of the Seminoles, a lot of parents and youth football in general, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear my son going to USC, my son, they want to hear that. And that's fine. But look, it takes help from the parent and the kid to get your son there. You can't have your son at home watching little Tony when it's practice time and expect him to go to USC when this kid in LA has 3 different trainers to help him get to USC. Do you get what I'm saying? So parents got to help us help them. So
I think, Ed, one of the things with that is we live in a world of instant gratification now in sports, right? Everyone wants that instant gratification in sports, right? Everybody wants the Josh to come in, fit in their program, and take off and go be first in the state, go be second in the state, go win this, right? So that's the instant gratification piece of it, where I could get all these players that's a Josh and put them on my team and take off. The and parents want that as well, right? Like you said, it's hard to understand, and it comes from a lot of people that didn't know what it took to do it in the first place, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
So, so when me and Ken can sit back and be like, dude, we know the process. We know the process. We had Coach Carter on here who also talked about the process as a Division I coach. So first thing is, let me make sure my kid academic grade foundation is on point. Right. My thing with football period is right now is you're eligible with a 2.0, but you can't get in college with that 2.0. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's kind of like we playing backwards, right? I gotta tell my son, if you ever need a waiver to sign a play, you just ain't playing. Why? Because you can't go nowhere with that anyway. We got to go to the other part of it. Let's strengthen this, right? So in the world of instant gratification, you go see that a lot. No one wants to develop, which would bring me back to my guy Franklin real quick. Franklin, what was it like when you got to Castlemont, being not from here and not knowing about other schools? What was it like when you first got to Castlemont?
All right, so when I first got to Castlemont, nobody knows this, but I was also contemplating going to like another school, which was Ohio. So
what happened? What happened?
So the whole plan with my mom was like to stay the whole week and see like how I like it, how welcoming the people are, then also go to like Ohio, see how everything is. So when I got to Castlemont, first person I met was Coach Ed. He got to like they were so welcoming that they took me to where I like get my practice. They took me to where like I get my classes. I didn't have to like act or look like I don't know what I'm doing. Everyone around me was just so like heartwarming. Like they coming to me like, how are you? Good, nice to see you. I didn't have to introduce myself to nobody. They came to me. I had the whole football team came introduce me to the coach. So that just attracted me because how close everyone was to each other, and how the teacher was like to give you more information. All of that, I just liked it, and I was staying in Castlemont. I just this is where I want to be. Like I want to be with people who know where I'm from and who know how to help me, and like without even like asking. So that was just the whole thing for me. So that's why I just stayed in Castlemont, and I appreciate that too today.
We appreciate that response. What we're going to do right now, man, what we're going to do, Ed, when we edit this and chop this up, we're going to use Josh words and Franklin words to put on the Castlemont website, right? Because what people don't know is the things about Castlemont that Franklin spoke of, that Josh spoke of, the warm environment that made you feel welcoming, right? Because some people, hey, they write you off. He look at him. He ain't on the football team originally. Then F him, right? One of those type of things. So that feel warming is a big thing. One of the things we talk about Josh and Franklin a lot, and Ed probably talk about it as well. We talk about Castlemont and Bishop O'Dowd a lot. And for somehow Ed then worked his way into a game. Ed, is it official? Is the game going to happen in the fall?
I'm following up with they AD today. They were putting a plan together for next year because they haven't even got to that point yet. But he got the contract. It's in his hand. It's typed up, and he said we're gonna make it happen. So I'm gonna stay on their ass, and I know you will be at the game.
Who's the AD? Who's the AD?
Hey.
Carlos Reed.
I don't know him. I was gonna try to pull some strings for you, but I don't.
You know his brother Chad Reed went to NCNL. Y'all know Chad Reed.
I will have to look. I will have to look into it and see.
Him.
But one of the things I'm happy this game could go down, and not even as a winner and a loser of this game, but more so is just having the game. Just having the game. Y'all around the corner from each other, and stuff like that. So just having the game. One, Josh, I told Ed, like I'm gonna tell you, y'all representing Oakland. When y'all getting there, we rooting for y'all. If y'all lose, Y'all represented yourself, and we didn't have nothing to do with that. Hey,
I don't know them.
Josh. Hey, Josh, is that a type of game that gets you like you would that a type of game that once it's on the schedule you circle it on your calendar, type of game, or do you have those type of games that's circled on your calendar already?
I do. I don't hold necessarily ambition towards anybody, but there are games where where you want to win, and it can be big for you in recruiting. It can be big for you in like just an overall morale boost, and it's just like it just proves something. Like them being on top of the hill, us being on the bottom of the hill. It just holds that figurative standpoint. And you just want to get up there and show that you're equal. And in that area, inside that fence, rather it be down at the Mont or it be up there at a school, inside that fence, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, Latino, Asian, brown. You got the entire East Oakland on your back. So once you like you said, you represent Oakland, you really have that strife to go out there and score. You really have that strife to stick it to them because they feel a certain way about you. So you're gonna have to feel a certain way about them.
Absolutely, man. And Daniels, man, the game happened. That's a game you will not be in attendance for, man. But I'm pretty sure you heard about the school being at
Yeah.
Castlemont, man. Do you wish that game could have happened for you as well?
I wish, man. I wanted to play my heart out for my brothers, man. That's I wish I could have played, but best believe I'm going to be there to like cheer my teammates up. So yeah, either ways I'm going to be there at the gate. So if I'm not playing, I'm going to be in the stands, room for my teammates. So
Hey, Franklin, I don't think you will ever be on the stands of a Castlemont game. Like Ed will always make sure you have a Letterman jacket and a sideline pass on the sideline, right? You would never be in the stands at a football game, right? Because that's just how the alumni work, right? When you got a good alumni and good, you want them type of players as yourself that go away to college and come back and show your face, right? So a lot of people, Franklin, do is they leave and they don't come back. So then the younger kids can't associate themselves with what the alumni support look like because the alumni not there no more, right? Me and Ken talk about it all the time. When I was in high school at Tech, we didn't have a Marshawn Lynch that's still coming around and Josh Joshua that made it to the league that we can say, hey, you know what? Let me ask this dude some questions. Let me follow his lead. We kind of like was wigging it on our own. So now to see that how motivating a Tech player got to be when they see Marshawn and Josh at their practices, putting on pads and throwing passes to you, right? So as an alumni, Franklin, man, when you graduate, just make sure you come back, talk to the kids, talk to the athletes, let them know what it's like, and always sell college to them, right? Sell what the college is like, man, because it's gonna be experience like no other, man. Hey, now we get to the real part of the conversation, man. We ain't being bashful. And you know the questions I ask on here, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with you, Josh. In the OEL, I want you to give me a person that you played against that's underrated.
Underrated.
It could be a teammate or it could be someone from another team that's underrated.
That I played against.
Yeah.
Played
against or played with. It could be on your team at Castlemont. It could be someone on another team.
I'll play with a lot of guys who just been under motivated, or they've just been, they've never been told they could be better. I want to say what's his name? Moreno. The tight end I played with in the Seminoles. He played for Skyline.
He's at Skyline right now?
Yeah. And he was 6'2", 215. And I mean, dude could run, but he just went into football kind of like, okay, this is just what I kind of do. And not saying that they have bad coaches up there, but he didn't really fully understand what he needed to do in order to get to the next level, and how could he push himself in high school. So he kind of, I don't want to say he faded away, but he kind of like allowed himself to wallow away.
Okay. Great question. Great answer. Now here go the other part of that question. Who in the league you play against that's overrated?
I want to say Annie McClymon's back. And
Andy McClymon is back.
Here we go.
Why? Why the McClymon's running backs? Is it because the line is hella bigger than everybody else? Why the McClymon's running backs?
One, because we played last year and they were on kickoff, and it was probably the sorriest tackles I've ever been held to. And that's shade if you want to take it that way, but in a sense that they don't really read nothing, they just run, and they don't go to the school that they play for, or they don't live by the school that they play for, is what I meant to say. And, like, they have talent, but they've never really been taught skills. Me, I'm working constantly on skills. I could be the fastest, or I could beat you with my skill. And I'm learning things now that college backs don't even know. And I feel like that's just something they don't have. And yeah, they get their little sparks here and there. But we saw last year at state when it came down to it and they had to actually show some skill, it was in a box. So
hey, that's a lot of
I've heard that before from somebody.
Hey, but that's a lot of bulletin board material, man. It's like, hey, that's bulletin board. That's going on the chalkboard later. After we drop this episode, man.
It's going in the rec center story.
Hey, but Josh, that's interesting. You say that, man. Do you feel it's just a across the board talent thing, like Ed spoke on, where you guys are getting new players like Franklin that coming from a new country, don't even know what the shape of a football looked like, as opposed to a team that's getting all the talent at one school? Do you think it's more so like, hey, you guys not really good, y'all just got way more talent than other teams in the OEL? Because I watched a game a couple years ago, they beat Skyline 98-0.
Yeah. And I think you can write out a lot of teams who don't have a lot of good team camaraderie, and they're not being taught skills. They're going to be whooped by talent day in and day out. But even when you put it together in a college team, Ohio State has all the talent. Oftentimes they don't make it to the state because they don't have that skill. They have one of the top quarterbacks in the country, but their wide receivers all go off talent, And in a lot of places, even I can even put it on Najee Harris. Najee Harris has a lot of talent. He has some skill. I've seen it. I've seen where he can like read plays and stuff like that. But they're idling off of skill. Then once you get to the league, you're gonna run into dudes who practice nothing but skill. So I've seen like a lot of dudes, because like I said, I watch a lot of football. Adrian Peterson was probably one of the biggest talents I've ever seen. But I take his talent and what he uses on his talent, and I translate it into Le'Veon Bell, who used nothing but skill, nothing but patience, nothing but eyes, nothing but slow and fast. And once I create that, I have something more so that I can use rather than, riding it out to college and then getting beat by some little, white dude who has nothing but, skill, and he's going to play over me because I can show nothing but talent on every other sixth play.
I got to give it to you, Josh, because one thing I noticed with kids these days, they don't watch a lot of sports. It's a lot of Fortnite and a lot of whatever else you guys are into these days. I'm not sure, but kids are not watching sports on TV. So the fact that you can break down a Adrian Peterson, a Le'Veon Bell, and determine talent versus skill, dude, that's impressive.
Man, but that's what the coach. So Ken, when we got recruited, we didn't have the, hey, let's get on the board and can you tell this coverage from that coverage, adjust this route, or we're going to adjust this route. I'm gonna sit in this zone at this. We just played off talent, right?
Yep.
We wasn't really skillful when we went to the next level,
and
right?
it showed.
It showed. We even talked to Coach Alonzo Carter when he was here. Zoe said basically how Eric Culberson hips wasn't as good. Like when they came, they realized his hips wasn't that good. That's a skill for a linebacker, being able to open your hips as a DB or whatever, right? So that's great that Josh is in tune with the skill of a position as opposed to a talent of the position. Hey,
who's
Franklin,
teaching you that? I'm sorry, Lo.
I think in my first 2 years, it was a lot of skill. It was a lot of talent. It was a lot of talent. Coach Ed got there and he was like, I don't care what you got. You know, you don't know nothing. Everything that you've been running is horrible and it shows. I was like, what do you mean?
Shots fired.
I've been breaking tackles and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah. But if you really break it down, and I actually looked at it, I was like, wow, I'm not really reading nothing. You know, I'm just running. I'm just running and running. And so once I realized that, I could break down, you know, like everything to the littlest detail. And I think the reason we're going to win is because like the guys we have are coachable. And once you have guys who are coachable and you can instill the right things, you're going to beat a lot of those guys who, you know, oh, I got the stars, I got the speed, because at some point in the game, they can't rely on their talent. They're going to be tired, they're going to be in the tank, and they're going to get upset, as most guys do. Like, even if you break it down, like I watched a lot of Last Chance U and stuff like that. There's a lot of guys who had unbelievable talent, but when it got really broke down to it, you had to play 4 quarters of whatever sport you had to play. At the end of like the second half or third quarter, it was like, oh my gosh, you guys suck, you know? So
one thing I'm impressed, the other thing I'm impressed about with both of you, and I guess is a testament to Ed as well, but really want to give you guys an applause, is again, like the word you just said, coachability. You know, with you, Josh, being, you know, to have someone tell you you don't know shit and everything you've learned is incorrect, and for you to not go into the tank and to be like, oh, okay, well, help me. That, right? A lot of kids don't, especially these days, don't have that, man. So if you can keep that humility and coachability, dog, you're gonna go a long way. And then for you, Franklin, to embrace a sport you never even heard of and not get frustrated with the process. Like, I don't know if you guys know how strong this mindset is that you have, but if you can keep it, football, life, fathers, husbands, whatever you choose to be, that mindset is gonna make you successful in whatever you choose to do. So, man, if I don't say nothing else, man, I just want to let you guys know that, like, keep that.
Man, and shout out to Joe Joyner, your running back coach, Ed, who actually putting these skills and helping Josh out with that, man. So shout out to Joe Joyner, excellent trainer, excellent running back coach. Definitely good thing for you for putting them type of men in position to teach, because oftentimes we feel like we got to know it all as a coach, right? But Franklin, are you familiar with players in the OEL too, or no?
I'm not really familiar with a lot of players in oil because I haven't really played against them.
Okay, so I won't ask you the underrated or overrated question.
Have y'all seen Ed play? Have y'all seen Ed play when he was playing? I never saw Ed play, so I don't know.
So we really need to ask you that, Josh. Will Ed be able to lock you down? He always talking this lockdown locksmith person. Will Ed be able to guard you, Josh, if he was 15 years younger?
Coach Ed is very competitive. Like, till this day, he'll probably be gassed at the end of practice, but he still gotta show you a little something. So if he was playing against me, I think it'd be a battle. But like, you know, I'm a student of the game. So at the end of the day, I put the over under 8-5.
8-5. Okay. Hey, here go another question I got for you, Josh. So coming out of the Seminoles, and you had these players that played with you, Dran Paul went on to win a state championship. Rashawn Woodland won a state championship. You had Savdar was actually at the school with you as a freshman. Savdar being at Castlemont with you. Then you had Devin, who just transferred out. You have Smiley, who's over at McClymonds now. Did you guys ever talk about staying together and all going to the same high school together?
If you ask Coach Tino, that was always the plan. Like, if you walked with him in that 2015 year, 2016 year, he would have said we would all go to the same school and stuff like that. And yeah, we talked about it, but I think we all had our ideas of what success looked like. What we looked like at a high school level, and what the end all was and further in life. So I think us splitting up in schools and us still like, staying in contact with each other, us still like, looking at each other's highlights, seeing, what they're doing and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Like I've seen Rasan grow a lot. I used to be so upset that he didn't run a certain way. But now I think he's really coming to that, that size that he has, and he uses it well. So,
Hey,
I mean,
Ed,
like,
Ed, I'm sorry to cut you off, Josh, my bad. Let me ask Ed this question. Ed, if you're at Castlemont, them dudes last year at the Seminoles, practicing at Castlemont, is there a way you get to keep all of them together?
Yeah.
Even my hold on. Even my nephew Jabri, who's killing at Los Lomas right now as a wide receiver, right? Do you think you be able to keep all of them together, Ed, if you were there and actually practicing at Castlemont?
Absolutely, I would have kept them together because what I have to offer is a component of, where all of them went. I have all that to offer at Castlemont. You know what I'm saying? I got the mentorship in terms of, out the social and emotional learning aspect of the thing of a person, of development of a young man. And then on the football tip, man, I got teachers. So I got teachers who coach football. So you'll be trained and taught how to play. You don't have to go to Los Lomas to be successful and all that. You don't have to go to this other school over here. And I can do all that without negatively speaking on other programs. You know what I'm saying? So I think once, me and Dr. Ish and Officer Smitty and Philip Jones, once we get in front of parents, it's no way they'll say no, because the information that we have for them, they'll be comfortable with. Now they'll be knowing, so that it'll make them more comfortable about the school. 90% of the ding that we get is the area. It's the area. It ain't got nothing to do with the school. It's simply the area. And so if I just ensure them that what I have set up and what I have in place, they won't be affected by the area. I've never lost a player to eligibility. I've never lost a player, God willing, that's been with me longer than a year to going to jail, gun violence, etc. So, I don't have those issues because I'm tapped into that community. I walk to the Stone 90th and let them know, hey, counsel my kids. So, we had a discussion. It's a mutual respect. It's all good. So we don't have those problems. They just associate the area as a whole of DP Stokeland with the school. And that's the bad stigma from the 90s. But when Coach Denny came, again, things started to change because people started to understand what was going on inside the walls. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. That's what it is. But yes, to answer your question, I think I would have kept all the kids together.
That's a good point you brought up, because that was going to be my question. I was going to say, all right, look, I grew up on 55th Avenue. My mom says, hey, I love your football program, but my son got to catch the bus from Castlemont back to 55th Avenue, and he's not, with the shit, as they say. So how does my son get from Castlemont to 55th unscathed?
I give kids rides home. All the coaches, I have a parent meeting. None of my kids walk home. That's out of the question, especially in this time now. They don't walk home. So I work tight with the OK program. They have vans. I work tight with parents, all my coaches. We drop kids off, and parents will come and pick them up. And if you can't pick them up, we'll make sure we get them home by any means necessary. So I have people who say, man, how can I help? How can I be a part of, what I'm saying? I want to help. Well, look, brother, or look, sister, whoever it may be, upstanding people. Look, if you could come at 7:45, maybe give give rides home, that'd be cool. I got the district, our district representative, God, what's her name? It's up at the tip of my tongue. I was going to say Desley Brooks. What's her name? Oh my God. Treva Reed. That's our district representative. Yeah. She comes once a week to give kids rides home. Wow. So I'm tapped in through certain people, and if you're going to represent us, you're going to work. You're going to work like we working. And so I'm not asking you to do all kind of crazy stuff. Just come back and give people rides home. So we ensure that we get our kids home safely. So that's never an issue.
Absolutely, man. Great question, Ken, and great answer, Ed, because that is a stigma that all parents will associate with things. Josh, I asked Ed this earlier. Let me ask you, what is your goal for this spring season, And is it you just using it as momentum to build for the fall season?
I'm coming in with the same mentality everybody is coming in. I want to win, and don't care how much it is by, but I want to win by a lot. Just to like I said, you got to prove something. You got to prove something, and if people aren't going to respect you, you got to force them to respect you. And then once you make it unresistible and indesirable, there's nothing they can say about it. Like once you get beat by 3 touchdowns, you're not going to be on Facebook, you're not going to be on Instagram, you're not going to post nothing live. It's going to be pure silence. And that's my favorite sound. So,
hey, I don't know if you guys watched this. We had Two Bob on here. Two Bob is Anthony Limbrick. He played at Fresno State. He's out of Oakland. And when he was in college at Fresno State, in the starting backfield for Fresno State was 3 Oakland alumni, right? All starting, right? And they had this big ESPN interview with them. And their motto for that year was shut up and hit somebody, right? Mm-hmm. Is your goal going into this, Josh, is to shut people up?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like, there's no workouts that I post, there's no, running that I post. I don't want you to know. I want you to keep holding that stigma. Castlemont's not nothing, these guys are horrible. They got 6 dudes, one of them's Chinese and he can't catch the ball. Then we go come out with 30 deep and hit you in the mouth. So I don't want you to know it's coming. That's my thing.
Well, they know now.
Absolutely.
They gonna know.
They know now, right? Hey, but one of the things is the support. And as a coach, you've been at Castlemont before. And what I've witnessed from a youth football standpoint, and it trickles on down to high school, is parents stop supporting, right? So when our kids were young and they were 5, 6 playing tiny mites, every parent take a picture before the game. All these pictures, right? Dress them up and all of this shit. I'm guilty. I did it myself too. By the time they turn 14, they're not even nobody in a stance anymore, right? So the kids are not as cute at 5 and 6, at 14, right? Do you have parent support that's going to be at the games to support these kids, Ed, or stuff like that?
Lo, as you know, last time when the Seminoles first started, you seen how many people was at the game. I made it a point, and I had to learn that unfortunately social media is the new Channel 2 news. All right, that's the new Channel 2, the new Channel 5 is social media. So what I started doing was I started making people feel fucking stupid for every time it's a homicide or something happens in Oakland. Oh, it's so sad. It's so this, it's so that. But when was the last time, I'm talking in general, this is what I was doing. When was the last time you've been to a high school game in Oakland? I don't give a fuck if you know a player or not. When's the last time, if you all from the town, when the last time you supported your alma mater? Crickets. When the last time you went to a game? Because that's how you help these kids. When they turn them back to the sideline and they see all these people in the stand, that's motivation to keep going. That means I feel like some people actually support me. So to answer your question, I've never really had a problem with support in terms of community. I think coming into Castlemont now, and because of COVID, I'm actually having a parent meeting tomorrow. The parents really don't know me like that. Do you get what I'm saying? They're not hella familiar like that with me and what we're trying to do. I think they think it's just a football situation, for some, not all, but outside of what their kids tell them, they don't know me. So it's definitely something that I'm going to do in terms of getting a great turnout. But the alumni, because I'm back, they've been supporting me. They have. They really have. And so, I never had a problem with that. As you came to a few games, Low, and you turn around.
Let me ask you this, Ed. Do you feel, and it just ain't nobody here but us, right? We ain't.
I got you. No, I'm gonna shoot it straight. No, it's good.
We probably get 1,000 viewers, Ed, so 1,000 people gonna see this, right?
It's all good.
Do you feel an alumni of a school to automatically send their kids to that same school they went to?
That's a good ass question.
Because let me tell you something, Ed. You will see someone that was as alumni at Castlemont, graduated Castlemont, it was good enough for them. But now that they have children, they're sending their children to Bishop O'Dowd, St. Mary's, or even another Oakland school. Do you feel if the alumni should be as able to send their kids to the same school they're graduated from?
Observe. You got to go and observe. You know your child. You know what kind of child you have. Go check out what the support staff, the admin, see what they talk and see what their mission is.
Ed. Ed. You're not answering the question. Do you feel, forget all of the in and outs and go do this and that. Do you literally in your heart feel like they should send their kids to the school they went to if they're going to send them to an Oakland school anyway?
Yes, you should. If there's an Oakland, if there's a connection at the school some way, somehow, yes, that's automatic. And I feel like a lot of people are riding Mac's train because it's and I'm being honest, it's some alumni from Castlemont that know that I'm back that sent their kid to Mac because they joined in this instant gratification, this train. And Mac is a great school, don't get me wrong. I'm the only one in my family that didn't go to Mac. Literally, down to my little sisters, everybody. But I'm not going to go ride this train because they're winning and think that my son is going to be successful because he's at Mac. That's bullshit. And so my son is coming to Castlemont. Like, he's going to be at Castlemont. I'm there. They got black teachers. That's all I need to know. You ask a person, why you sending your son to Mac? Shit, they winning. They winning. What? What kind of stupid shit is that? They winning.
What if they live in West Oakland? What if they live in West Oakland?
Nobody lives in West Oakland, Ken. Nobody lives in West Oakland, Ken. They can't afford to live in West Oakland no more.
They don't live in West Oakland.
If my kid, first of all, I don't have no sons, so there's no reason for me to send my girls to Oakland High. But if I did have sons, if they didn't play sports, they're not going to Oakland High. I don't care what they are.
Ken, let me take that back. Ken, you have a well athletic daughter who in a couple of years, she is about to be outstanding in whatever sport she do. Are you sending her to Oakland High?
No, but they don't have a girls program.
They got track.
They just went to state.
She runs track.
In basketball, she don't play basketball.
She runs track.
Well, I mean, I can't argue with that. That's why I'm saying you got to go check out, see what's going on before, because my son's coming to Castlemont next year, and he's good. He's really good.
He's good.
You better believe, because I'm real tight with Pat Walsh at Sarah. You best believe Sarah.
Pat Walsh didn't go to Sarah.
No, but what I'm saying is they've inquired about my son, and typically, if I don't know, I'm in it's a private school. I'm going to send my son. Yeah, great. No,
you're emotionally vested.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. Because if my son would have told me he didn't want to come to Castlemont, we would have had a conversation. Okay, where you want to go and why?
What if you would have said O'Dowd?
What if you would have said, I want to go to Mac because they're winning?
I would have said, I'm going to beat your ass. No, I'm just playing.
Exactly, right? Exactly, right?
I'm just messing around. But honestly, if he would have said that, though, bro, I'm not lying to you. My mother, my uncle, everybody, they graduated from Mac. Like, if he would have said that, we would have had a conversation, but I wouldn't have let him play for their JV coach. So that would have been out of the question. Okay. He would have had to go play straight varsity, or else he wasn't going over there.
There's a personal there. We won't touch in the personals about.
I'm not here to start no beef, especially.
We're not going to do any of that, right? I sometimes I do just because controversy sell views, but no, I'm not going to do that.
No, not the way we handle it. We don't know how to handle it,
right? No, we do it differently, right?
Yeah, And Prince ain't going to tech, so I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm coming after Prince. Low just don't know it.
One of the main things Ed told us we got to know our kids, right? And I know
Low took his son out of a charter school to go to a private school.
No, that was a private school too, Ken. We paid for that.
Sure is. We do pay for that.
We pay for that.
Right.
You pay for it still, double time. Hey,
and my daughter going to St. Mary's.
Yeah, she got into St. I talked to the other one wants to go to the other school, right? So,
we just gonna whoop their ass and make y'all change your mind.
Hey, no, because it's one of those things where we represent the OAL. We represent the OEL. I never went to a private school. Ken did, but they
I
didn't
went to
have
private school.
football.
No.
They didn't have football. But so we represent the OEL, man. Like I told you, I hope my rec center badge could get me into the game this weekend, this Saturday night. I'm trying to
Man,
get
Tech
into
ain't got no
the
juice for you, man. You got to come off the Castlemont card. See?
Hey,
You see
man,
what
listen
I'm
to me,
saying?
man. I'm trying to come on my own car with my rec center field badge, right? Because I want to come and support. I love football. I actually went and checked the game out, man, and it's exciting. Football in the spring is exciting as well, right? So I definitely want to see what goes on. I don't really have too many hopes of things to come. Just want to see a young Castlemont team who only have two seniors.
Two. We only got two.
Years, right? That is a lot to build on going into the fall, right? That's a lot to build on. See how Josh play. Franklin, what number are you, Franklin? So I can keep a watch out for you.
We haven't really talked about a number. That's the least of my problems.
Right,
It'd be the biggest one in purple.
Hey, you know what's crazy? He's not.
He's not. He's not. I was at the practice. He's not, right? What do you, and when
y'all
you
got something over there, huh?
No, man, we ain't got 6 kids, man. You know.
Hey, Ed, when you got back to Castlemont and some people were transferring out, it wasn't because of you personal, but do you take stuff like that personal?
Damn, Mo. Okay, I'm gonna answer this question, okay, in a politically correct way.
No. It's the rec center. The point about the rec center, kid, Ed, is when you in the rec center, this is the place where we learn to talk shit at.
Yeah.
So we're not answering anything.
And this is what I don't like,
correct.
Lo. This is what I don't like. In the text messages and on the phone calls, people be talking. Then when that record light come on, then all of a sudden everybody.
Fuck it. I'm gonna shoot
hold on. Wait, Ed. Hold on, Ed. Wait, Ed. Ken, if you ever went and read our YouTube comments, you will always see Goat Zeddy.
Go Zeddy.
That's Ed. And he's talking a whole bunch of shit to us every time we have this conversation.
We just ran off like 10 straight public school players. we put who did we have last week? Chuck Hayes. And he's talking about private school rec center. I'm like, bro, we just ran off like 10 straight public school.
So Ed, cut the shit with the politically correct shit, man. Let us hear. Do you take it personal that people transferred out as you was coming back onto him? Do you feel like somebody was dirty macking you, talking you? Like, how do you feel about that?
Hell yeah, they was dirty macking me, and I got receipts that they were, and that's what was killing me, because it was like, and I promise y'all, you can't name through my coaching stint one player that I went and tried to get from another OL school. I don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in coaching the motherfuckers who want to get here. Now, what I do is go after 8th graders so I can develop them over time, but I don't typically go after other, I especially don't go after OAL players. Fuck yeah, they was doing me like that but to their credit, one of my good friends in OAL, I ain't gonna say his name, he didn't know if I was gonna get the job. So because he didn't know I was gonna get the job, hell yeah, he was pulling at him. He, come, won't. But then I made a call, bro. I'm getting this job. They asked me to come back. So, you know what I'm saying? And he laid off. You know what I'm saying? So it was all good. I can respect that. I love that. It's all good. But kids who transfer, I was upset because the last staff, man, JB is a good coach. He's the reason I am what I am today. I got fuck the bullshit. I'm gonna tell you the truth. If it wasn't for him, I would not be playing. I would not have went and played college football, and I wouldn't have played corner. He made the shit happen. But again, outside of football, it take a lot of groundwork, feet work. Stand there till 9:30 at night, 9 o'clock, making sure kids got rides home, talking to parents, and that takes away from your family. Coach JB got a whole family, so I think what happened was the fire got lost. In terms of what it needed to, it needed to take to keep that shit going, it got burnt out. That's what I saw. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about, he's not a good coach and all that. I can't speak on that. All I can speak on is his the fire and shit of energy.
But hold on,
and
real
so
quick,
kids
Ed.
was leaving. Blood, they finished the season with 12 kids.
But hold on real quick, Ed, because Josh was there for 2 years. Josh, do
Mhm.
you feel as if the fire burned out as well from your freshman to your sophomore year?
And from my standpoint, I just thought Coach JB he left the program on a good note and then came back and it wasn't exactly what he remembered it was. Like a lot of things evolved. A lot of kids didn't have the same pride for the school. And like having that culture shock is kind of what like knocked him back a little bit from, like really pursuing it. Plus, like Coach Ed said, he had no help. And anyone who's, really striving to do something and people not working with them, it's you're gonna get burned out eventually. So
Yeah.
I think with those factors all factored in, it was just like I can't do this without no help or no, somebody's helping me get through this,
Absolutely.
It might be a situation like Mac, where we always say it take an alumni to build it up because you got that passion. Mac always
pride
got
for
an
it.
alumni, right, coaching
Absolutely.
when they're winning. And then Castlemont, I mean, didn't he went to Castlemont, right?
Then he went to
Mhm.
Castlemont.
Went to
Right.
Castlemont. Ed went to, and then they've been the ones to be able to build it. JB took over a program that was already on the rise, but to build it from the ground up, I feel like it does take that passion and pride that you have in the school.
Hey,
Right.
and let me give a disclaimer to our viewers. When Ed said he got receipts, he meant text messages. We cannot have grown men saying they have receipts. That is not really manly, Ed, to be saying that, right? He meant he have proof. He have proof
Lo
of
always
being
getting
dirty.
me, blood.
He have
Lo
proof of
always
being dirty
getting me,
macking,
blood.
right? Hey, but you absolutely right, man. And Josh, you're absolutely right. When you're not having the help, one thing Ed good about is networking with the community. Like you said, the administration, the district people that's in offices, OK program, all these people around that can help and speak positive. We always tell Ed, give us something to sell when we're talking about Castlemont, because we don't want to be the ones that have the negative stigma about Castlemont. Ed, give us the good thing to sell. So now we go in and say, hey, they got 22 black teachers. One of the homeboys I grew up with that graduated from Cal, he's a teacher at Castlemont, right? They have the OK program. They have Dr. Ish Anderson. Is it Anderson, Ed?
Yeah,
Dr. Ish,
Ishmael Anderson.
Dr. Ish Anderson. He's there on with the program. So now it's something to sell to get away from this stigma, right? And the stigma had been created before Josh and Franklin was even born.
Yeah, right.
Before he was even
Right.
born, the stigma was there, man. So it's a lot to come up against. We say it all the time. OEL football coach is the hardest coaching job in coaching, right? But the OEL football coach job at Castlemont is even harder. It's
Yeah.
even harder, right? So definitely, man. Before we get ready to wrap it up, man, we wish both of these young brothers, as Mustard said, Josh and Franklin, man, Ed, hopefully you can put things back in order, keep networking with these colleges with Josh, man, because Ed, when was the last time, and you've been there, someone from Castlemont signed a Division I scholarship?
Division One, 2008. It's been a few. No, yeah, 2008. It's been a few that went to JUCO, but out of Castlemont, it was
Out of
Chris Little,
Castlemont.
Division One.
That's what I was gonna
2008.
say. I was gonna say you always got to know your history. So for Josh and Franklin, now this is just me, and I know I'm gonna catch a lot of flack about this. You got to know who Chris Little is. You got to know who Danielle Crane is, and you got to know who, I'm gonna butcher his name, Marquez Olabugaz.
Mark, it was Big Quez. He
Big
went.
Kez.
He was out of. He was
went to
98.
UNLV. Yeah, he went
He
to
was
UNLV.
98. So here's the funny story about that, Ed. I mean, Ken, my junior year, he was transferring to Tech. He's
Oh.
at Tech the whole summer.
Oh.
We looking so good. He's at Tech the whole summer. Right before we played Galileo, he went back to Castlemont on us. We also had another one, Big Chaz the barber, Swole. Swole was at Tech with us. Swole was at Tech with us that summer too. And right before the season, he went to Mac. Right? We had, and that kind of lightweight depleted us to be in the Mikey show. Right now, we got to just run the Mikey ball. Right? But Ed, Josh is crossing right. Ed, I would love to see Josh or whoever you got to build that up. You know, they say, man, once you build it, they gonna come.
Right.
Once a person see that one person was able to do it it makes it easier for other people to buy into it, right? So
Let me ask you a
definitely
question,
looking
Lo.
forward to that.
You and Ken. I want y'all to be straight honest with me. If a player, let's say I have 5 Division II scholarships out of high school, which is hard because D2 typically don't come to
Get that
Cali
much
for
money.
high school players, right? Because
Right.
of the money. But let's say we have 5, right? Do at y'all as OAL fans, do y'all treat that the same as me having 5 Division I scholarships? Why or why not? And keep it real. Don't give me no political
Listen
right
to me. Hold on.
bullshit.
Listen to me. I'm a be complete. Do I treat it as 5 Division Ones? No,
Mhm.
but I treat it better than 1 Division One. If one high school have 1 Division One signee and another school have 5 Division Two signees, I'm applauding the shit out of. First of all, I'm applauding everybody because these kids
Right.
are going to college. But
Right.
I'm really hyped that these 5 kids was able to get out and go do it. Right. So I'm applauding that. It would never be on the same level as 5. Like if one school got 5 Division one got on the athletic side of it, right? On the
Right.
athletic side of it, on the life side of it, that is all the same. On the life side, go get out of college. If you see, I just posted something on my Facebook yesterday that said we got to start normalizing kids going to college outside of their hometown for the experience, right? It's a real different life outside of what we're used to, right? And we need to start being able to experience this, right? Franklin, being from Nigeria, coming to Oakland, which is a culture shock in itself, now getting ready to go to college, which is going to be double culture shock because now what he didn't familiarize himself with, he got to learn something totally different in a year, right? So just seeing those type of things is exciting to me, right? So I don't give Franklin. Listen to me. Franklin could go to Lincoln University in Missouri, where me and Ken went. I'm gonna be happy as shit because he went on to go do some other things, right? So, but ultimately, it's not comparable to the even odds, right? But we do put so much weight on Division One. Division One is not the end all be all. The Division One not the end all be all. We tell kids all the time they gonna come find you. If you're balling, they're gonna come find you, right? Regardless if you're at Castlemont or if you I talk about it all the time. De La Salle don't even put that many kids out, and they on
they don't.
300, 400 year winning streak in Northern California, right? But they don't put that many. They starting to get better now in their skill position player. They got the quarterback that signed. They got the receiver Lou. He's considered an athlete. He signed, right? But they don't put that many out because of their offense, right? So a lot of times, Ed, people not going into the high school, leaving the Seminoles, leaving the Dynamite, leaving these other youth programs and seeing what it is that the high school do. Who's the personnel that's graduating? Who else is coming in, right? Am I going to be a receiver who about to sit for a while? Or do they have 5 running backs already there? And I'm not going, and they play a system. How Beam played this system in the 90s at Skyline, where it was a wait your turn system. So you might not be the man until your senior year. So people not doing the footwork beforehand to see, man, what's the offense to run? Will I fit into this offense? People are, like you said, jumping on it. You know how many people said they want to go to De La Salle as a receiver and then realize they run a veer offense? You're not getting the ball, right? So we talk about those things, about looking forward and doing those things. So honestly, the way it is, people always jump on hype. People jump on hype all the time, trend all the time without doing footwork, right? So it's more into it than just going to go sign up for this school because they're winning. They could be winning, but is it going to do you any good if you ain't playing until your senior year? Or you still used to success that now that you got to wait, you're pouting. You're ready to jump into the high school transfer portal, right? That looked bad too, right? So people not understanding the grind that it takes. It's a 4-year process, and you got to trust the process, regardless if you have McClymus, Tech, or Castlemont, Oakland High, whatever. It's a process that got to be trusted. And these guys right here, Josh, stayed down since his freshman year playing varsity and trusted the process, regardless the coaching change, right? Coaching change can make a person transfer, but he got you coming back into it, right? And this is a question before we get ready to sign out here. You've been at Castlemont. What year did you graduate?
2006.
You graduated 06. Left, came back, been around the program since 06, and we in 2021. So that's 15 years that you didn't see the program. Before that, me and Ken seen it. would Josh go down in history as the best football player to come out of Castlemont?
Player or running back?
Man, you pick which one. You tell me.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. Jahad Stevens was a motherfucker. That
What year did he
oil
graduate?
16. He had
2016,
33
okay.
touchdowns. Like he was the oil MVP that year. He was good.
Okay.
I think personally, Josh is a better running back than him. Running back. He's a better running back than Jahad, but Jahad was a better, like, he could do, like, he was just a little bit more shiftier than Josh. Josh is somebody that I would recruit to play running back. I will recruit Jahad to be a slot, sometimes take the ball from the backfield, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But
more
player,
like Zion, we have a Seminoles.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's be real. Castlemont dropped the ball in 1991 when they didn't hire Coach Denny, and they didn't hire the Fremont coach that built, what's his name, the basketball coach.
Clint Williams. Clint.
Why the fuck would you hire two alumni who wanted to be at the school? Right. They was trying. I got the full story. They tried, they begged, they got the alumni. They just didn't give them the job. Who gave them the job? Fremont. What happened? Right. What happened at Fremont? Exactly. So Castlemont administration dropped the ball in the 90s. That was their fault.
Absolutely. Great answer. Hey, so man, we want to thank all you guys coming on, man. We wish Castlemont the best of luck this spring season and also well into the fall season. You know, I'll definitely be around the program. Ed, if you need anything from me as a supporter thing, just let us know. Man, shout out to you for everything you do for us. So whatever you got, man, just let us know, man. And we appreciate Franklin, Josh, and Coach Ed coming on and representing Castlemont.
Nighttime, man. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all Saturday, man. Be there. Sorry we got to do that to you, Low, with your Tech Bullfrogs, man. But you know what I'm saying? We going to get their private school light skin ass too.
See y'all Saturday night, man.
All right, y'all. All right, thank you.
All right.
That was interesting.
Hey, really great, Ken, because Ed brought on two kids that's well beyond their years in their manners.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Well spoken, well spoken, know how to handle the media, right? That's a skill that's not taught that much, Ken. How do you handle the media, right? And they both did a great job on that, man. It wasn't no head down. It wasn't no, yeah, man, know what I'm saying? None of that. They know how to handle the media, man. It takes a lot of practice of that. They handled it better than some college players I done seen.
No, I was for sure shocked. I would definitely recruit both of them, depending on what level of school I'm at. But as just young men, I would recruit both of them. I'm actually excited to see them play. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on Saturday. You know, the Josh kid especially. Just because he was this, runner up as a sophomore for MVP.
And listen to me, Ken. Do you know what would happen when we created a rec center list and one of us was the lead MVP runner up as a sophomore?
Bro, you could.
Oh, dude, like, listen to me, man. People debate our list and all the times like this. And if anybody on our list was a lead runner up as a sophomore, we might gotta look.
Well,
I gotta look into that.
I want to make a funny joke. T-Bird gonna say he was.
Hey, man, shout out T-Bird, man.
T-Bird gonna say he was OAL second place as a sophomore. But for some reason it was raining that day, so he didn't get the votes.
Hey, we're signing out, man. It's the Rec Center Podcast. Ken, sign us off, Ken.
Hey, man, thank y'all. Thank you to Castlemont Knights. We appreciate y'all coming on. Josh Jones and Franklin. And also Coach Washington, we appreciate that. You guys definitely follow us on Instagram at the Rec Center Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Rec Center. I'm Kenny Edwards for Lorenzo Parham.